What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Cardinal and Cream Sidelines podcast, where we talk about sports. I'm Jennie Simmons.
I'm Emmalee, Ellsworth.
And may I just say, we finally got some feminine wisdom up on this podcast. I think we are the first two girls to get on this podcast and talk about sports. We booted the men out for this week, and we're just going to be two women that are going to be chatting about sports. Do you deal with sports at all? Like, first of all?
I definitely play, I played in high school, and I do intramurals and stuff here, but I grew up watching baseball mostly.
Okay.
And then I've, I've watched stuff, but I don't, consistently watch it normally.
That's totally fair. I mean, the only thing I watch is, MLB and the NFL. Those are the only two I dabble in. Didn't play sports because, unfortunately, I broke both my ankles very early in life, so...
Dang.
Yeah, I was booted off the sports roster very early because I crippled myself. My ankles cannot withstand it. But, lucky for us, we're not really talking about sports today. We're talking about what they're doing when they're not doing sports, because we are going to be talking about off-season and what exactly does that entail for sports. Do you do anything during the off-season, like the sports? Like, do you watch their content? Because I know they're still doing stuff, but they're not playing games.
One thing that comes to mind is that... I think of, the Major League Baseball off-season, they still do, spring training and stuff. Mm-hmm. And so that was something that my family would always go to. And you can buy tickets and stuff and, go watch them do that stuff. So that's the kind of, I guess, what I would do during the off-season for the MLB.
Right. I mean, it's a great way that they're still keeping fan engagement up like that. They're still allowing fans to come out and watch their players play, even at slow stakes. Like, the other day I saw a TikTok where... LA Dodgers, their Shohei Ohtani, he was just playing a game of catch at a random ballpark field, and fans were there. And I was like, that's a great way. They just show kind of the behind the scenes of what these players are doing. But then there's the flip side, and they're also posting all this social media content. They're polls who is your favorite player of the year, or who do you think is going to be in the Super Bowl? As if any of us care anymore who's going to be in the Super Bowl. Honestly, we'll get back to that later. It's all these polls and brackets, which is also a great way. But I think focus more on how these players improve their game should be the main point, and not who is the greatest, check this out, because Tennessee Titans just revealed their new logo and team uniforms for the next season.
Really?
Yeah, it looks like the Tesla symbol, low key. I'm not even kidding.
That's crazy.
And if it comes out that Elon Musk now owns the Tennessee Titans, I think I will flip my lid and never watch it again.
That's crazy.
Tennessee Titans sponsored by Tesla.
I never watched NFL, really. I mean, the Super Bowl. I mostly would just watch, college,
Honestly, yeah. I think I'm more bigger in the college game than I am, major leagues. I just follow the Titans because I'm Tennessee.
That's fair.
Go Vols all the way. And I much rather watch the college kids than the NFL.
Yeah, definitely.
But, but it also comes down to this idea of, who does the off-season better? Because I only dabble in baseball and football. And I think you made a great point as, they kind of show how these players are still they're doing spring practice. They're keeping it up in the MLB. But on the flip side, football, it's all about their media engagement and fan content.
There's a lot of trades that go on too. I feel like that's pretty relevant. I'll hear that from the guys in my classes, where they'll just talk about who's being traded to what and stuff like that. So obviously that is another way that they're keeping the engagement and still trying to stay relevant, because it is pretty some of them are pretty shocking. So
honestly, yeah, and it's crazy the amount of guys in this school that will just be sitting in class and they're just talking about. So shout out all the meatheads that we have in our classes, where all they do is keep up with this kind of stuff. That's how I keep up with it. It's because I'll be listening to just the guys behind me chit chatting. I'm oh, I can't believe it, bro. They traded him, and I'm I could not care less. But
I have to look it up. I'll just wait for practicum when Ted Cluck tells us the latest news.
Exactly. Shout out Cluck for coming in clutch with all the up-to-date sports news with his little meathead gang in there. Shout out them. But, it's hard to pick, because it comes down to, do you care more about them keeping up with their fan engagement, or do you think they should be prioritizing their players' well-being and, development? And that's where I think it is. Yeah. So when it comes to the off-season, I think baseball has got it made, because they're helping their players try to improve their game, so they can prep for the next World Series and the next upcoming season, rather than just keeping the fans hyped up, which is important. But you got to prioritize the players, because it also comes down to, are sports even truly sports anymore? Can we even call it sports anymore?
Yeah. I definitely think that there is like an aspect where, you know, they're trying to maximize their profit. But I've definitely seen like it get a lot more political, you know, and not as much like sports focused.
Right.
Which is definitely showing that it is more of a performance and not like a, you know, not super focused on like, okay, well, who can, you know, pitch the fastest and the most accurate, you know, it's like stuff like that.
Yeah, no, and the Super Bowl is a great example of this, because honestly, I don't think no one has cared about the actual Super Bowl game for the past like 5 years. The only thing you ever hear about is the halftime show.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's all people care about. And like there was like a statistic where it's like, for this past year's Super Bowl, the amount of like people who went to the bathroom was like stalled during the halftime show. Like the number of flushes like halted for the Super Bowl halftime show and then picked right back up when it slept. And I was like, weird way to gauge fan engagement with the Super Bowl halftime show. But you know, it's good to know that that just proves the point that like it's the performance aspect that it seems like people more care about.
Yeah, definitely. But even not necessarily like the performance, like are they putting on an act, but like even like how the team is actually like playing and actually performing, you know, because that can, I've been a St. Louis Cardinal fan like my whole life.
Oh, really?
They haven't done too well lately, and so it's like it's hard to want to watch them, you know what I mean?
I mean, that's just another thing. It's hard to watch your team consecutively lose.
Yes.
No offense to the St. Louis Cardinals, but they have not done well.
They have not.
No, and I'm so saddened to see that sports have just become this giant performance, and like I feel like it's like lost a lot of its luster, and like people don't really care about him anymore. Like it's losing engagement, and the only way they're keeping it is there being these over eccentric performances, like the drama. They're taking all these risks that are not necessary because they're like, if we don't make it exciting, the fans are not going to care, which isn't true. Because like true fans are going to come back and they're going to watch their team play because that's what we care about.
But I guess they're not so focused on true fans, and like they're wanting just more people. And I wonder how much of that is focused on like people's decreasing attention span, and that's why they're trying to like heighten the excitement for it, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, no, I think the decreasing attention span is like a great aspect. I didn't even think about that, because you think about it, I was like, because of things like TikTok and like YouTube shorts, like if we are not captured within the first 5 seconds, we don't want to watch it. And I feel like that can be the same with like a football game or a baseball game. If we are not captured by it within the first like minute of the game, maybe we don't care about it, and we don't want to watch it. So I feel like that's why even this off-season time, there's so much pushing for this social media content and engagement. They're like, if we don't keep the fans hooked by giving them too much and so much, we're going to lose them, and we're not going to make nearly as much money. We're not going to have the fan base that we nearly need to be relevant in the game. And it's sad that it's come down to that. It really has. I just think we've lost what sports is truly about. And like every aspect of the games are just suffering.
Yeah. But there really is nothing like, you know, going to actually like watch the sport and like be there, you know, and that's not something you get in the off season, because like, you know, you can't go watch baseball when it's like 20 degrees outside.
Oh yeah. No. So, so like God bless the people that went to the Super Bowl and it started like
100%.
freeze raining like in the middle of the game. I was like, could not be me. I was snuggled up in my dorm eating pizza and chilling with my roommates. But yeah, I mean, some of my happiest moments was just watching football games with my family and friends. And nowadays I just have no desire to do that, because it's all about like, oh, who's the biggest sponsor for this team? Oh, what did this team do with their logo?
Not to mention how expensive it is. I mean, you've got tickets, and then you've got, like, the concession stand food. Like, it's ridiculous. It's
hot dog is, like, $14.
Yeah, like, when that would be, like, I don't know, a few cents from, like, Kroger or something. It's...
Go get you a Costco hot dog. It's, like, $1.
Yeah,
and it's, like, double the size. I don't need a baseball hot dog. I need a Costco hot dog.
But then they're also so strict with, like, the stuff you can bring in, too. Like, I know for us, when we'd go watch baseball, we weren't allowed to take in, like, drinks and, like, some snacks or stuff like that. And so it just, I don't know. It's just very, like, obviously it feels like they don't care a whole lot about their fans sometimes.
It's so very true, because they want you dehydrated and hungry. So you buy that $14 hot dog and that $6 Nestle water bottle.
Yes.
That does taste like sewer water. Exactly. Which is why it is sometimes refreshing when it's the off season and we are not being shoved full of sports. And I'm sure these players are so grateful for it as well. Because like this is their chance where they can like take a step back, and they're not performers anymore. They are just regular people who are trying to enjoy this game, because I'm sure they don't like all the pressure once the season starts. While they may be playing something they love, there's so much pressure to keep their fan engagement up, keep the sponsor and the donations rolling in, and just like make it so people watch their games. And that doesn't come with, unfortunately, with just simply playing the game.
Do you think that there could also be more pressure for them in the off season because like they aren't playing the game, but they're still expected to like keep up engagement and then also like get better for the next season, you know? So there's a lot of pressure even from fans just being like, you know, almost hating on them.
Oh, I can only imagine, because I know the Kansas City Chiefs, when they lost the Super Bowl so drastically, horribly last year, God bless them. I felt bad for them watching the game. I was embarrassed for them. I couldn't help but just imagine, like, what kind of pressure are these guys getting off the field once the season ends? Are they getting, like, so much hate and spite from these fans who were like, what was that? Like, you guys clearly need to up your game. Like, something needs to change. Like, why are you even on the team? How did you even get drafted? So I think there is pressure from that, as well as like these guys feel like they have to get better. But it comes down to this: do they prioritize actually developing their game and health, their way of playing the game and their health, or is it all about making sure you're in front of the camera and keeping the fans hyped up for the game? It comes down to like, do they prioritize their image or their actual like playing? Which I'm sure is so terribly hard for these guys.
Yeah, and I'm sure it's also different just across the board, like on people's like players' actual character, you know, because I'm sure there are totally people out there who are actually like prioritizing their health and training, and then there's other people who are just in it for the attention, you know.
Yeah, in it for the money, so they can get that stylish sports car, and then they can go get a DUI as they're being chased by the cops through New York. Plenty of stories like that. Just I would love to just see how the off season was handled like 50 years ago compared to right now. How much different is it? Like, I'm sure media content was way down. But just interesting is like, did they actually like actively work on improving their performance compared to now? And I feel like it's a major decrease. Well, I'm sure these guys are still in the weight room. They're still running drills. It's like, just like, how much are they actually doing of that, and how into it are they?
But even like from the fans' perspective, what'd you say, like 50 years ago?
Yeah.
Do you think that the lack of media content would probably heighten people's excitement for the actual season, you know, and they would try to, you know, watch it more and like actually go to the stuff? Because right now, like, we could just get on our phones and like watch clips or highlights, and it's just, we've got, you know, access to basically anything. Whereas, you know, 50 years ago, they didn't have that.
You're right. And I think 50 years ago, there was much more excitement for the season to get started, because it's like, how much better are these guys going to be when they first step on the field for the first game of the season? They're like, how much have they improved? Reveal a new logo first thing. And it's like, compared to now, we have camera on these guys 24/7, bless their hearts, constant. So we constantly know what these guys are doing. And it's being captured like every angle, and it's being posted on like multiple social medias. And there's no anticipation for the next season. It's like, we already know what they're doing. It's just we're waiting for them to just get back on the field again. So it's like, it comes down to, does this off season, all this media content that they're posting for the off season, does it even truly work? I truly don't think it works. Not when you know what these guys are doing every minute of the darn day.
Yeah, because it definitely like doesn't leave, I guess, anything to be curious about, you know. I feel like when you're more curious about something, you're like more active to try to figure it out. But like then you would be waiting to see them post. But if they're already posting all the time, like you're saying, like if the camera's on them all the time, then it leaves nothing to,
Right.
be wondered about or anything.
Right, there's no surprise. It's like the same with a movie trailer. Like you get a movie trailer and it hypes you up for the movie.
Yeah.
But you get like the first 30 minutes of the movie, or you get like this dude on YouTube who's like the writer and just sits down and tells you what's going to basically happen. There's no hype for it. So it's like, why would I want to go see that? I feel like people mainly nowadays just go and see the game just to get the experience. They won and done it. They're like, I sat in the stadium. I watched 2 teams play. I'm done. Never again.
Or how much of it is also like nostalgia? Like that's what it is for me. Like my family, we've always gone, to a Cardinal game. My big family, like once a year, and like we're gonna do that again this year. Like it's just
Oh, that's so nice though.
But it just brings, I guess, so much nostalgia. You know what I mean?
True, and I think it comes back to the idea of like, I don't think it's for the game. It's for nostalgia reasons like that. It's to get the vibe. Like I used to go to Jackson General games all the times. We always went to go see the fireworks. I went to Friday Night Lights football at my high school all the time. Like, it's very nostalgic. And while, yes, I would absolutely go to an NFL football game, pro game, if I could.
Yeah.
But it's not at the top of my list because at the end of the day, it's like sports are not what they used to be. You don't see the nitty-gritty details of the game anymore. You see these puff pieces and, like, these eccentric performances that these guys are putting on all because they have to, because that's unfortunately what it's come to nowadays.
Speaking of like the performances, that made me think about the Savannah Bananas.
I love those guys. You want to talk about like baseball team to watch?
You know what I mean? Because it's just like I don't know. I see their like TikToks of them doing their dances and stuff. And I know the Rockabillys, you said the Jackson General, so that's what made me think of it. The Rockabillys tried to do it one time. It was kind of hard to watch, I'm not gonna lie. Just because it's like, I can understand, like, the Savannah Bananas have, like, made their whole, I don't know, that's like, what their team does. But, like, obviously the Rockabillys are supposed to, like, actually play baseball. So then whenever they try to be silly and goofy, then it's just, like, I don't know.
Doesn't really hit.
It doesn't hit.
It doesn't. You're right. Like, I love Savannah Bananas baseball games. Like, my roommate obsessed with it, and it's because of their performances. Like, she went to a game last Sunday to go watch them, and like they're fun to watch.
Yeah.
But that's not sports.
It's a performance.
It's a performance, and I feel like that is what baseball is actually coming to, and what like football is actually coming to.
Yeah.
Like, that's a great example. Like, because that's real world, and like these guys are still hiding behind that they're the real deal. Like the NF, like they're in the National NF Football League.
Yeah.
But in reality, they're like the Savannah Bananas. They are just
Puppets on a string almost.
Puppets on a string, just very expensive actors to go see play.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because then they have to deal with all this content. Like, oh, the game is rigged. Y'all knew who was going to win from the start. You totally faked it. It's like, what if they actually didn't, guys?
Yeah.
What if he genuinely just threw a fumble or an interception and just like is an honest human mistake?
Yeah.
But they get so much crap for it. And it's almost like during the off season they have to make up for it in some way, shape, or form, especially if they don't win or don't go to the playoffs or the Super Bowl, which honestly, at the end of the day, why would you even want to go?
Yeah.
No one cares about your playing.
I guess, I wonder how much of it is just like a pride thing, which I mean, it all has to be, I feel like. But then even going back to like 50 years ago, that's probably why like people would get better, is because, they were doing it for themselves, for their family, whatever. But now, like, people can get paid to play badly. And they're like, well, it's money, like, I'll do it. It's not even for pride anymore, like, doing it for yourself or doing it for your family. It's like, what gives me the most, like, worldly stuff, worldly possessions.
I mean, exactly. I think it really does come down to pride. And I think there's 2 forms of pride. Pride in the reputation that they've held, and there's pride in their actual, like, gameplay performance. And it just also comes down again to which one do they prioritize. Like, their actual performance, or that they got a lot of women going after them and, like, liking their TikToks and, like, stuff like that. And it's just, I truly think sports are all screwed up nowadays. And I can't speak much on basketball, though. Don't really watch basketball.
I don't really either. But that is another thing, like, March Madness and everything's coming up. I guess they've been playing, so it's not really an off season. But that is another way, like, they stay relevant in the off season is like to have fantasy teams and stuff like that, because you're thinking about it before, you know, it actually starts, and you're like drafting your team and everything like that.
Right.
So, like, which is just a really cool way to still stay relevant, even though it's not going on yet.
Yeah, no, March Madness is a great example of just like, it's not college basketball season really. Like their championships are all one and done. This is just something they do for fun. That it really does help keep up engagement because people are filling out their brackets and like, I bet this person's gonna win it all.
Yeah.
Most of the time they're wrong, but and it's just it teases the upcoming college games. Like, look what these guys are still doing. They're still playing. They're still having fun. I do wish the national leagues would follow in that footstep and just kind of like, yes, post during the off season. Don't just ghost your fans.
Yeah.
Like as soon as Super Bowl is over, you're out of the playoffs. Don't just go ghost on TikTok and be like, well, we'll see you in like 8 months or like 5 months. Stay tuned. Like no one likes that cliffhanger. I sure don't. But like they don't have to overstimulate their fans with like pushing so much content and thus overstimulating themselves.
Yeah, and definitely like I'm not super like I'm not looking for every post they come up, but there's been so many times where I'll just like keep tapping through my stories and I'm like, how many times can you post? Like
honestly,
it could just, you know, you could post like twice and then they'll go like days without posting too. So it's like, why not spread that out and like actually, I don't know, be consistent with it to actually build a bigger audience, you know?
Right. I kid you not. Tennessee Titans have like posted their new logo like in 5 different TikToks. I'm
really?
like, I get it. It looks like a car. It looks like you are owned by Elon Musk. Please move on.
Yeah, that's crazy. One thing that I was thinking of about like just staying relevant in the off season is like merchandise and like how you market your stuff. One kid I know, he was driving by me and he had a St. Louis Cardinal license plate on his like the front of his car, and so now I'm like, oh well, I'm gonna go talk to him about it next time. And if you think about it, like if you see someone wear a Vols, you know, sweatshirt, like one time I was wearing a Vols sweatshirt in like an airport, and someone came up and they were like, "Go Vols," or
Go
just
Vols.
stuff like that. Yeah, like it's just it just still stays relevant because it's like you're like demonstrating your loyalty to the team, but it's also like it doesn't have to be playing yet, but people will still have like their loyalty or their, I don't know how else to put that, but it makes a community, you know?
Yeah, no, and fandoms like that for teams are truly communities. Like they bond over it, and while yes, it can get out of hand when they start fighting against one another, it's a great way. And so like prioritizing some merch would be great too, because I know MLB like gets right on the merch as soon as the World Series and like as soon as the LA Dodgers won this past year, they were already shipping out merch, and I was like, you guys are quick, but that's a great way because you like can get your Dodgers World Series champions hat, and like you can go talk to people during the off season as you wait for baseball to ramp back up.
Yeah.
Put out some new merch, guys. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Not just a TikTok of like a guy dancing or like an 8th video of your new logo that nobody likes. I've got some major beef with that logo. It's like if it's not been made very obvious throughout this podcast.
Another thing that comes to mind is it's coming around to like high school graduation. It's like people are starting to say where they're going to school, and like a lot of signings are happening too, which is another way that they're staying relevant. I mean, like with scouts, with signing people and just stuff like that. I think that is another way, because then it makes you excited, like, oh, I know this kid, and like he's gonna go play for the Vols. Like that's super exciting. I can't wait to watch the Vols and like see him, you know, probably on the sidelines because he's a freshman, but still, like,
but still, he's there.
Yeah, exactly.
I know him.
It's like the idea, like, yeah.
No, gonna be so for real. I think college off season might have the best off season compared to these national leagues. I think I would much rather watch college off season because March Madness and like all the signings for the upcoming college kids and the draft. I think that's a lot more exciting, and it like keeps you excited, but it doesn't make you dread the season starting because you already know every little thing that like is coming up, like all these players' stats and like everything that they're doing to train harder. And I'm like, guys, you don't have to be posting everything to keep your fans engaged. You just give them tidbits here and there to make sure to just let them know we're still here. Here's what we're doing. Here's just an update. Get ready for us to get back on the field, and not just shoveling like, watch us on the field, like down their throats 24/7.
And I think also part of the appeal of the college is that it's like you get 4 years of eligibility to play. So it's like it's pretty consistent about like filtering new people in and old people out. So it's like it's almost like you don't know what the team's gonna be like.
Right.
You know? It's like exciting. It almost has you like on the edge of your seat to see how they're gonna play. You know.
Well, after talking about this, overall, in all your opinion, do you have a sport that you prefer to watch and a sport that you prefer to follow during the off season?
I would definitely say probably the Tennessee Bowls. I feel like that's definitely what I like to see the most.
Right.
Yeah. So watching, and they're like football mainly.
Exactly. Shout out college kids for doing it right.
Yes.
I mean, honestly, we know what we're doing.
What about you? Do you have a preference?
I mean, go Vols all the way. Those are my guys. I would honestly much rather watch some college football than NFL. I'm so tired of the NFL. It's just because this becomes this oversaturated Broadway performance to me, basically. I just don't. I only watch the Super Bowl because it's the Super Bowl.
Exactly.
That's literally the only reason. But, I mean, I will watch baseball because I feel like baseball is the only sport that actually is still a sport.
Yeah.
So go LA Dodgers.
No.
Yes. No. No offense to your St. Louis Cardinals, but I'm sorry.
Okay.
LA Dodgers all the way. We're World Series champs. We won it the past 2 years.
That is fair. I can't tell you the last time we won a World Series. I'm assuming we have. I don't know.
I think it's been a hot minute.
Probably.
But, as long as you love your team, that's all that matters. And I think people could learn from that. Well, y'all, that is all we have for you today. Thank you for being willing to listen to these two women just sit here and chit-chat about sports. Not even really sports. We're talking about what they're doing when they're not doing sports. Hope you enjoyed it, and tune in for the next episode of Sidelines. Thanks, guys.